hub.
Right.
And so then you don't even know that they're there. Anyway, let's do it.
Even more devious. I just started the stream, so we'll double check and make sure that is functioning.
Okie dokie.
Let me mute my phone. Looks like we're live. Mute my phone. Yep, okay. There's definitely audio.
We are indeedy.
All right. We have decent volume. Kim sounding like she's actually in the room this time.
Woohoo!
That's borderline Mario. Just saying. All right.
It's me, Mario.
I did mean to check. Can you all hear Robin?
Potato. Yes.
It's broken up, but I heard Poe and Toe.
Okay.
I missed the Tate.
Yeah. Story of Robin's life, by the way. The Poe and Toe and Miss the Tate. All right, let's start this podcast. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly?
I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 859 of the Overseas Connection podcast. It's the Trace Amigos show. It is October 26th, 2025, just mere days away from Halloween, mere weeks away from Extra Life. We do this podcast every Sunday. Normally it would be 8 p.m. in the UK. However, because of your silliness with unwillingness to adapt to American ways, you still change your clocks with the rest of the world. So it's 7 p.m. in the UK right now, but it's 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. And if you unfortunately live out in unknown areas in the Midwest, it is 2 p.m. your time zone. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. We will do an audio version of this podcast so you can groove to the oldies. Well, not really. You'd be grooving to us oldies, listening to us while you're on the treadmill. Let's see. What else to say? We've got a couple birthdays we could talk about. But before I mention the birthdays, I'm going to mention my hosts, because that's the most important thing I could possibly do. Well, okay. I've already mentioned myself, Greg DeLacy, Gamertag, Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law, Twitter. Mr. Matthew on the show today. Chris looking quite happy with himself.
Guess who's back?
Best.
Back again. Chris Matthew, OC_CP Matthew on Twitter and Xbox. And they still call me Moose on Steam and Discord. Hello, Greg.
You sure it's not Slim Shady?
Not the real Slim Shady, at least.
Okay.
So he won't be standing up.
No. Hey, but welcome back, Chris. Also on the show, the hostess with the mostest, Kim Woods. Kim, I disparage where you live all the time, but I can't disparage you because, well, we heart you. All right.
Well,
What's up, Kim?
Yep. That's me. At GamerRoll27, pretty much everywhere. That's Twitter. That's Steam. That's there's a word variation on PlayStation, but I hardly fire that up nowadays. So if you really want it that badly, you know where to find me. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and we're doing a show. So let's go.
We're doing a show, so let's go. Indeed. Okay, I did mention we have some birthdays. 2 out of 3 of these birthdays I do not care about, but one birthday in particular I care the most about. I will let you be the judge. This will be a mini pre-quiz.
I knew you were a Winona Ryder fan, but I didn't know that you were that much of a Winona Ryder fan.
I know.
It may not be. Let's go through this. So Winona Ryder, 54, doesn't look a day over 53. Seth MacFarlane, also celebrating his birthday. And a ripe young 53. He doesn't look a day over 55. I suppose I should have gone with 54 and 53, just like interchanged them, but I didn't. Sue me. Also, Pete Chin. I don't know who this guy is. Rumors are he was on this podcast a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but Pete Chin apparently will be celebrating a birthday on November 1st. Now that we know the players on the field, can you guess which of these individuals I care about the most? Kim.
I'm going to go with Seth MacFarlane.
Interesting choice.
I'm gonna be contrarian, and I'm gonna say that being the child of the '80s that you are, I know you were a fan of Heathers and Beetlejuice, and so I'm going with Winona Ryder.
Man, the Pete Chin slander, I cannot believe. It's amazing. Pete, you are the one I care about most, Pete. We love you. We miss you. But
We do.
Yeah, outside of Pete, if I'm going to grade, it is Seth MacFarlane, just because I love his body of work. Not necessarily the man himself, but it's the body of work. Winona
You don't like his
Ryder,
body.
not bad, but it's Seth MacFarlane. It's got to be. All right. We do have this to say about all of that. Happy birthday! For a moment, I didn't think it was going to sound off, but it did. You'll hear it on the audio. You may not hear it in your headset, Mr. Matthew. This is the way these things work. For whatever reason, the soundboards don't like Discord.
I believe you.
All right. Well, if you believe that, believe this.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Everybody indeed does love story time. So, speaking of story time, I think we'll go with Kim. This might be probably the most entertaining one of the stories that we hear. So, Kim, please, by all means, what's going on with you?
Well, I've just been busy. If you know what that is, that's trying to be the magician from Frosty the Snowman. They put me up to this, so there you go. Actually, I don't know. It sounded more like some 80-year-old grandmother, but I tried. So, I haven't watched Frosty yet this year because it's not Christmas yet, and I ain't doing it. Because I could have pulled it up on YouTube and watched a clip or something, whatever. But anyway, in that note, now that I'm rambling, this week's just been busy. Monday, we went to Kansas City to pick up the boys. And then Wednesday, I had the boys because we didn't have school. And then Thursday, I had a dentist appointment for my 3-month cleaning because I have gum disease. I have to go in. For right now, I have to go in every 3 months so they can clean them and keep an eye on them so, I don't inadvertently have to start dentures at a young age. Well, youngish being I'm only 47. I don't really want to go there yet. So, it's been a little busy this week, which is why my games played list is so small.
Do you ever wonder if they just make shit up when you go to the dentist?
I do sometimes. I have to laugh because you're saying this now.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went in there, she's like, well, you've got a couple that look like they have cavities starting, right? I'm like, okay, no big deal. When I come in next time, you'll probably fill them, and that'll be the end of it, right? I went in this time, no cavities were mentioned. So I don't know if that was a fluke or what, but there was no cavities mentioned this time, and I was a little bit worried about that because I'm like, the last time I was in here, you said I had cavities. Now I guess I don't. I don't know. Maybe I should have asked, but I didn't.
I used to. We're gonna stick to this story right now. Dentist talk.
Okay. All right.
I had a dentist a long time ago. I loved him, mostly because he loved me, in that he had already made his money. So he was one of those dentists that, for the patients that didn't have a lot of problems, he knew that it was just a little bit of steady income. He wasn't fussed about it. He had already made his probably millions. And so it was Dr. Bo. He was great. I moved away. Unfortunately, that's why I no longer go to him. But he would just come in. He's like, your teeth look great. No big deal. You're out of here. And now it seems like all I have are young dentists around me. And literally every time you go into the dentist, even though they're saying, oh, everything looks great, they will inevitably try and drop but we could do this treatment, or we could do that treatment, or next time when you come in, let's do this treatment. And every time it's like, well, how much extra is that going to cost?
Right.
I don't know. And obviously, Mr. Matthew, this doesn't apply to you because you're under the, well, I guess right now, technically not, you're not under military pay, but
Well, I still can go to the dentist, but my dentist isn't getting paid. Yeah, that's what's up there. Yeah.
But so does your dentist do this, or is it a little more straightforward?
it's hit or miss. I definitely have had similar experiences to Kim where 2 years ago, I think I went in for my annual, and the younger dentist was like, you got a cavity here. You need to go get that filled. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I shouldn't say whatever. I said, okay. And then I made the appointment, and I went to go get the filling. And the older dentist was like, like, yeah, there's something there, but it hasn't really cavitated yet. Like, it's forming,
Right.
but you don't need to do it yet. I was like, all right, I'm not going to break my heart not to have you drill my teeth today. And that was 2 years ago, and nothing since. And there probably is an issue there, but I've over 48 years of going to the dentist, cavities do tend to grow very slowly in my teeth. I'm kind of blessed with good teeth. So it might take a couple of years, but I haven't had a lot of, we could do this, we could do that. I did have to have a root canal, and one of the dentists wanted to do like internal whitening where they like take the root canal off and do whitening on the inside of the teeth and then redo the root canal. I was like, no, thanks. I had a root canal. I don't want to do another root canal.
Right. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, A+ on your grammar test right now. Cavitated, well played. That's
what the dentist said. I can repeat words.
All right, that's good. That's good. All right, Kim,
Nice.
we return you back to your week.
Yeah, well, like I said, I went to the dentist and we were talking about dentist stories. Well, you know how they go around with, I don't know, what is it, the little probe or something, and then they like check your gum depth or whatever, and they're like rattle off like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For me, it always seems like in the middle of that I should hop up and go bingo, but I don't. But anyway, they went around and did all that, and then they compared it to when I came in, I think it was the first time, and they compared the numbers, and apparently those were all good, because this time there was only like 2 6s out of I don't know how many last time. So apparently that's all good. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's just been a busy week for me this week, and hopefully this week will be less busy, so maybe I can play some more games. That would be nice.
It would be nice indeed. There was a question in the
Right?
chat from Lewis. I would be remiss if I did not read this out. It said, Kim, I have a question. You have a Buc-ee's up around your parts. Now, understand, when I read this, I was like, what in the world is he talking about? And
Now I'm a little curious.
I don't see anything on her t-shirt. I'm not understanding this, but now I understand. Buc-ee's, I believe, is a restaurant of some kind.
It's like
it's a gas station.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. They started in Texas. They've started to spread more towards the southeast than the southwest.
Okay.
But it's people who've never been to Buc-ee's are like, what's the big deal? It's a gas station. But like, if you want to go not wait in line for gas, you go to Buc-ee's, because if there's a line, they build a new pump. If you want a clean bathroom, you go to Buc-ee's. If you want to find any kind of road snacks that you could possibly want to find, you go to Buc-ee's. If you want an unnecessary section of merch with Buc-ee's logo all over it, you go to Buc-ee's. It's kind of a mecca for people that are driving past. Like, if you're going to make a stop for gas, you may as well stop at Buc-ee's, kind of thing.
It is
anyway.
The service station mecca.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, to answer Luis's question, we have 2 Buc-ee's, not necessarily around where I live, because we live obviously in a rural area, so there's not much call for that. But there's 2 in Springfield, Missouri. So there you go.
All right. Oddly, Lewis also claimed it as paradise.
Well,
which I not sure I would classify a service station, as great as it may be, as paradise. Unless maybe, you really have to go to the bathroom that bad and you pull in and you're going into that nice clean bathroom that you mentioned, maybe that qualifies as paradise.
Or you just really need a brisket burrito.
Brisket burrito. Holy crap. That sounds amazing. Okay.
For gas station food, like, they got legit food. They got they got, bacon, egg, and cheese, brisket, egg, and cheese. They got brisket, they got burgers, they got pork sandwiches. They have the wall of beef jerky where you just go. They have all these different flavors of beef jerky, if that's your thing. Oh. Anyway, now I feel like I got to go to Buc-ee's, so I'm going to find where the nearest one. Yeah, got to figure out where the nearest one is to me. It's going to be a road trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a road trip for me too if I try to attempt this. My guess is, though, We'll talk about that when I get to mine. But there may be an opportunity for me to go to a Buc-ee's. Maybe.
Oh, well, there you go.
All right, Kim. Anything else?
Well, we did turn our heat on this week because Wednesday when my nephew, I know, right? I don't know. It's one of those households. I think that's like a thing, and I don't know why it is. But anyway, yeah, we turned the heat on this week because my nephew showed up Wednesday, and we're all sitting there. They're on their phones or their tablets or whatever. Next thing I know, I noticed the oldest one's getting a blanket. Then I noticed the youngest one's getting a blanket, and then between the two of them, another one had got another blanket. I'm like, are you guys trying to tell me it's cold? And they're like, yeah. So I went over and we've got a big gas wall heater thing, and I turned it on, which was hilarious for them because when I first turned it on, the thing went, and I'm like, oh, my fucking eyebrows are gone. But no, thankfully they're still there. So, but it did scare the ever living shit out of me. And then on top of that, with it being on, my smoke detectors went off, and that freaked out the youngest one because he's like, "Is the house blowing up? What's going on, Aunt Kim?"
So, what kind of furnace are you operating? I mean, I'm assuming it's gas.
It's a natural gas furnace. So,
okay, all right.
So when it poofed,
He doesn't have like a pilot light and you don't just press the.
Yeah, no, it does have a pilot light, but when you go to turn the dial to actually kick it on, because you've got to actually turn the dial to kick the pilot light and everything on. When it did that, apparently that was enough to cause it to poof, and so.
There's a lot of questions here. I mean, because so I equate this out to like our gas fireplace. We have the little pilot light. You click it and you're hearing the click, 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 and it's turning on, and then it lights. But it's all behind like a protected area. It's glass.
Yeah, we have a screen, but it's still, it's got a screen around it, but it still will poof up. And if you're, stupid and got your face like right here, you're liable to, lose your eyebrows. So, or worse, maybe.
This just, again, this is me sliding the Midwest, but this points back to how you hear about some of these like horrific stories of houses blowing up, things like that. I understand now. I fully have a better comprehension now of how these things happen. Also, I don't know. I would be just scared to death of having something like that where you have gas, like a gas line into the house for your heater. I mean, I get the stovetop, but that's something you shut off, you turn off, and it's not maybe running all night long.
Well, this is the same way. If you turn it off and there's no pilot light, it does not. The gas does not keep coming out. It's got an automatic shut off. I mean, we're not barbarians, Greg. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying barbarians. I was not saying barbarians. I'm just saying monoxide poisoning.
You've moved into the 20th century, for God's sake.
This is how it happens.
I mean, the only thing I can think is the reason it poofed up the way it did is when I was trying to light it, because when you turn the dial every once in a while, if the igniter has a little bit of like dust or cat hair, well, in my house it would be cat hair, every once in a while it won't spark. So I'm guessing I was trying to get it to light and the igniter didn't spark, so I had to go get a can of compressed air to blow the igniter thing out, so that way there was no cat hair or anything on it. And so I'm assuming there was a little bit of built up gas, and that's why the thing poofed the way it did. So
usually when the gas builds up, there is a poof.
Yes.
Lewis is proclaiming if you're in Texas, you can hit him.
Okay. Hey,
you're
good.
in Texas,
all right.
Hit me. So, all right. Mr. Matthew, what's going on with you?
Well, nothing as exciting as burning my eyebrows off with the household furnace. Although I do need we have a gas log fireplace that the pilot light is out on, so I do need to figure out how to restart the pilot light on that.
By the way, you have like right now, and I don't know why this popped into my head, but you talked about burning off your eyebrows. I instantly thought Mr. Clean is your costume for Halloween. You just have
every
to
year
bleach your eyebrows a little bit or singe them off with fire. And
or singe them off with fire. Yeah, you can really only dress up as Mr. Clean so many times before, you know what I mean. Then you have to come up with something new, maybe like Lobot from Empire Strikes Back, or some other generic bald person, Deadpool, right? Whatever.
Picard.
There you go.
You can make a good Picard.
Picard.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. I do like Earl Grey tea. It is tasty. So there you go.
Make it so.
Make it so.
Smile. Make it so. Engage. My so my oldest, since you got me talking about Halloween, the oldest has decided he's going to do the crossover costume, and he is going to be Banana Leclerc. And I guess Leclerc is a Formula One driver. He's become very into Formula One as of late, and so he's gonna wear like a red racing suit. Leclerc, there it is, with a red race. He's gonna wear a red racing suit and then a banana costume on top of that. So that's his thing. It's like, hey, A+ for creativity. Plus, it wasn't that expensive. My youngest has decided he's going to be the engineer from Team Fortress 2. Remember Team Fortress 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still going strong. And so he's got some bib overalls and a red shirt. We're going to put some knee patches on there. He went and found one of my toolboxes, so he's like ready to go. And he can put all his candy in the toolbox. So it's a win-win-win.
Perfect.
There you go.
Does he have the tool
There you
a
go.
tool belt as well?
Ooh, might have to see if we can find him a tool belt. We might have to make something up. He's not quite big enough to wear a grown up tool belt. We'd have to get creative. We might have to make something up. Yeah, we'll get it sorted. So last week I mentioned White Lotus, which is an HBO series, and I mentioned that it was weird. And I continued to watch the first season, and it just gets weirder. So the whole thing the first season centers around 3 guest suites, if you will. There's a family with kind of young adult and teenage kids. There's a newlywed couple, and there's a single woman who's there to spread her mother's ashes in the ocean, right? And it seems normal enough, but as the season goes on, it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. The newlywed couple, the husband is just this walking red flag, and is as you can see as the episodes go on, his new wife is beginning to have deeper and deeper doubts about this relationship. The wealthy family with older kids are just constantly stabbing each other in the back. It's just it's fun, but it's really, really bizarre. I just started season 2, and apparently season 2 moves to a whole new resort with a whole new cast. The only character that's back from season 1 is the older single lady played by Jennifer Coolidge, who was there to spread her mother's ashes. She's now at this new resort. So they went from Hawaii to Italy. So it'll be interesting. And in season, that episode opens up with drowned resort guests washing up on the beach at this resort in Italy. So you're already in for a trip, right? So we'll see where it goes. Haven't met Walton Goggins yet. Go ahead.
Is she still spreading her mother's ashes, or is she spreading someone else's ashes this time?
Unknown. She did finish with spreading her mother's ashes in the first season.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
I don't think she's doing that again, unless she had another mother. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, going to continue to watch that. It's an intriguing show. Just to kind of like none of the characters had a happy ending at the end of season 1. It was just like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? So there you go. Worth checking out.
I have the trailer up on screen for season 3. There's a very interesting vibe to this, I will say. Yeah. It's got crap. Lucius Malfoy. Jason Isaacs. I just saw Jason Isaacs on screen. He's always an excellent villain if he ends up playing a villain. So hopefully he ends up playing some kind of villain. Anyway, fun show. Looking forward to seeing what happens in season 2. It looks like season 3 is taking place. Oh yeah, sorry, I was
maybe
the trailer. For
maybe Thailand.
That might be some spoiler stuff going on there. Sorry, my bad.
Well, each season seems to be a new resort and a new cast of characters. So it's you really can't spoil it, I guess.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah. So yesterday, as for fun, I went to watch. So the women's rugby team from Army was playing the women's rugby team from Navy here at West Point. So walked down to watch the game, and it was Army won 84-0.
Oh,
That
wow.
beatdown.
It was kind of a brutal beatdown. So the scoring in rugby works. When you get into the try zone, that's 5 points, and then the kick after is worth 2 points, and then you can kick from the field for 3 points. So they ended up with 9 tries and 1 kick from the field. It was kind of a brutal beatdown. And in happy news, as I've mentioned,
I found the match. Actually, it was rugby versus Navy, correct? Annapolis, West Point.
yes,
And
yes,
that's the opening ceremony.
there,
So let's
there it is at the Anderson Rugby Complex.
Yeah, 22-0 at this point.
Yeah, so it was kind of fun. Oh, I'm way off. I'm way off screen. Way off screen. So you can kind of see the river behind the stadium there. The Army sailing team has a sailboat with a big Army sports logo on it, and they were just sailing back and forth the whole game. Kind of a little, I don't know, just kind of adding some atmosphere, maybe a little kick in the shins for the losing team. 27-0, about halfway through the first half. They play 40-minute halves.
Also, the Army having a sailing ship, period, against Navy seems like a kick in the pants.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Army has more boats than the Navy.
That is an amazingly fun fact. I would not have thought that at all.
Between engineering boats for doing bridging and transportation boats for going between ship and shore, the Army has more boats than the Navy. More aircraft than the Air Force also. Fun fact.
What are we
so
doing?
There you go.
We should just call it all the Army now, apparently.
Well, that's kind of a joke amongst the military community. When you bring all the services together, we call that joint, right? And we say that we spell joint, ARMY, is how you spell joint. So there you go. Yeah. And to wrap out my story time, I have mentioned that I am soon to depart Uncle Sam's Army. And so this past week was my last feats of strength, right? So we have to take our semi-annual fitness test to make sure that we are fit to serve. And so this week was my last one, which was a happy occurrence.
Now, what comes with a feats of strength?
So the new Army fitness test is a 3 reps max deadlift. Then you do hand release push-ups.
Now, hold on. I have to ask questions. So when you say 3 rep max deadlift, and thank you, camera, for turning on. So 3 max deadlift, your body weight. What is? So it's scored from 0 to 100. So 100 points is 350 pounds. The minimum passing score of 60 points is like 140 pounds. So it's very easy to pass the deadlift. Right.
Maxing it is pretty tough. 350 pounds is no joke.
That's no joke. Yes.
Yeah. My 1 rep max when I was young and strong was like 405, and I've never gotten close to that since. Let's see. Then you do hand release push-ups. Similar. It's on a sliding scale. So minimum I think is 11. To get 100 points is somewhere in the 40s, and you get 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes to complete them.
Now, may I ask? So a hand release push-up.
So you start on the ground. You start with your chest on the ground.
Okay.
And then you have to push your body up as a unit, right? You can't like worm up, right?
Okay. So all one fluid motion.
Yep. And then you lower yourself back down to your chest on the ground, and then you lift your hands up. And to prove that you've lifted your hands up, you actually have to lift them out like this and then bring them back in. Yeah, that's a hand release push-up. Then you do the worst event of the whole thing is called the sprint, drag, and carry, affectionately known as the sprint, drag, and puke. So you start laying on the ground on your chest, and then at the word go, you pop up and you do a 25-meter shuttle run, so down 25 meters, back 25 meters.
Okay.
And then you grab a sled, which is like a piece of canvas that has 2 45-pound plates on top of it, and some straps. and you drag that 25 meters down, 25 meters back. And then it used to be sprint. When they first did it, you would sprint again after dragging the sled, but people were falling on their faces because they were just all of a sudden running without the extra load. So they would just fall. And so they switched it to a side shuffle down and back just to avoid people falling on their faces. Once you do the side shuffle, you pick up 2 45-pound kettlebells and farmer's carry down and back. And then you put the kettlebells down and you finish out with one more shuttle run.
All right. So,
and again,
go ahead. No, I was just saying that this is like no joke. This is, that's a decent feat of strength.
After that, you're pretty tired. That's usually when you're like the first 2 things, you're like, all right, I'm not really all that tired. But after that, it's like, oh, I need to catch my breath for a minute.
Now, is there a strategy? So, like the deadlift, do you just go minimum?
So the strategy is there's 5 events,
right?
And so the ones that you're good at, you go all out, and the ones that you're not good at, you still go all out because somebody's watching you. And if you don't go all out, well, then they're going to yell at you,
right?
But yeah, you do kind of min max a little bit. Like I'm better at the strength, so I'm going to focus on the strength because at the end of it, so after the sprint drag carry, you do planks. You have to plank for 1.5 minutes or up to 3.5 minutes for full credit. And then after that, you run 2 miles. And so 2 mile run is where I always struggle. So I try to do as much as I can on the first 4 events because I know I'm going to struggle on the 2 mile run. Right. So
do
that's
they give
kind
you
of
time in between events? Is it just one to the next, to the next, to the next?
You get 3 minutes in between the 4 shorter events, and then after the planks, I think you get 10 minutes, and then you start running, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Yeah. This last one, I was in a hurry, so I just went event until I was done because I had to get to class.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, why would you be in a hurry to do this? But now I understand.
Because I had somewhere to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was happy to be done with my last feats of strength. That isn't to say that it's time to stop training. It's just that I can start training differently now. I guess, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my week.
Okay.
Greg, you sounded like you had some exciting things to share with us.
That's probably not actually totally true. Okay. Extra Life. Update on Extra Life. Okay. Stepping back, Lewis has proclaimed he has old man strength. Good job, Lewis.
Yeah.
Extra Life update. I hit my goal. Super excited. So
Good.
That's why I broke out my Extra Life comma shirt. So this basically signifying that I got this shirt when they realized I had raised, through the course of me being an Extra Life, but I've raised more than $10,000 for the charity. Now, the reality is I'm probably coming close to $20,000 raised for Extra Life over the course of the years, which I'm super thrilled by. Couldn't be happier. But yeah, so I was a little concerned when I first started out my drive this year because I got a late start, just like Kim and I. We both were like, oh, we need to really get on this. And first messaging went out, and I was like, hopefully people are seeing this. And then it's kind of one of those things. Once it starts to trickle in, it starts snowballing a little bit. So that all has transpired. I'm excited for Extra Life, also slightly nervous for Extra Life because, man, my energy levels these days, it's like 9:30 hits and I'm like, I could go to bed right now. So it's going to be an adventure this year, I have a feeling.
We can do it. We got this.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
You can do it.
I remember, I think it was 4 years back, and Kim, you and I both were struggling at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Pretty sure you fell asleep at one point.
I probably did.
Yeah, I know. I was head bobbing. I think that was it might have been a little longer than 4 years ago, but I believe Gary Lever also literally fell asleep during his. So it was one of those situations where it was just like everybody, and I I got done with that Extra Life in particular. I remember I hated video games. I was so angry
Yep.
towards the end of it because I just wanted to go to sleep. And I had done the whole stupid notion of, well, the clock's rolled back at midnight, so that means I need to do an extra hour of Extra Life. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Don't
no,
do that.
I punished myself to do 25 hours of gaming instead of 24. And it was the realization
Never
at
again.
about the 23rd and a half hour that I had totally screwed myself by proclaiming I was going to go the extra hour. Because I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I was so mad at myself in particular for saying that. So yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Never
Uh,
again.
Sorry, was there a question?
Well, a tangential story. Once upon a time, and I may have told this tale before, but you're going to get it again. Once upon a time, I was traveling for work, and I was in Korea, on the other side of the international date line, and so I left Korea at like 6:00 in the evening. My next stop was U.S. PACOM in Hawaii, and so I landed in Hawaii at 7:00 in the morning on the same day. Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, it's 7:00 in the morning. I guess I'll go to work. And by the end of that second work day of that second Wednesday, I was just trashed.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not doing that again. So next time I made that same trip, I was like, I'm taking one of these Wednesdays as a me day. Go surfing or something. So anyway, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
that's
International
my
Dateline.
learn my stupid lesson story.
That it's a good lesson story, not stupid.
no.
So I've done the International Dateline once when I flew out to the Philippines, and I marveled at the fact that when we came back, we left on the same, basically I think we landed an hour before we got back or something. It was some crazy yeah, and I was like, how does that work? I don't understand this. And it also completely messed with me because stupidly and similar life lesson, I did not sleep on the flight at all. So I came back and I'm like, oh, it's 12:00 in the afternoon. Just carry on with my day. And that's one of those trips where jet lag is a real thing. So anyway, work has been insanely busy. That has kept me from getting a lot of gaming in, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see, a couple audiobooks. So Invasion is an audiobook I started and finished and was immediately bummed because it's the first book in the series and they don't have any additional books in the series yet. So I will be waiting for more books to come out in that series, but I enjoyed it. And then I just started another book called Able-Bodied Soldier, and it's got mechs in it, and so I'm a happy camper. But yeah, and then on a not so good note, I watched Den of Thieves 2. It just wasn't as good as the first. I was kind of really saddened by the direction they decided to take the story. I won't spoil it, but I feel it is an inferior sequel, as we see often with movies. And it's a weird thing because, with movies, often the sequel's not as good as the original. And with games, the sequel is often better than the original. I don't get why, but it happens. And then Alien Earth. I cannot recommend this show enough. If you like the Alien series at all and then were disappointed by the gajillion additional Alien movies they made after Aliens that just fail and are not terribly good, Alien Earth is so far cleansing the palate and making me quite happy with the Alien franchise again. I think there was something else I was going to talk about, Mr. Matthew, and I completely forgot what that was. So
you said something about maybe being able to check out Buc-ee's. I'm curious about what that's about.
Yes, thank you. That is a good reminder. And so the question is Buc-ee's in Florida? Are there Buc-ee's?
There is Buc-ee's in Florida. Yeah,
in Orlando.
There's one in Daytona Beach. which is not far from Orlando. I don't remember if there's one in Orlando proper, but there's definitely one in Daytona Beach.
All right. Well, we literally yesterday booked our trip out to Florida to go to Universal Studios, Florida. So we're going to
Nice.
spend a week out there, hit some of the theme parks. It is amazing how expensive that is to take on. But nonetheless, we haven't done a vacation in a while. And we thought, you know what, let's go someplace fun for Colin. So it'll be the three of us. We have very meticulously gone through our flights. So I had two criteria when picking our flights. One, make sure, because we're flying out in December. So we're going to go Christmas to New Year's. Basically, the 24th to the 29th is the week we're going to spend out there. And I was like, okay, we cannot fly through Chicago or Denver. Avoid northern snow areas. So all of our connecting flights are basically through the Texas region. So we'll be going through, I think it's Austin on the way out, and then on the way back, Houston. The other component to it was we're flying Southwest. So not the greatest airline, but you know what? Far cheaper than going with a United or an American airline. And we know we'll get the bulkhead because of Colin's special needs, which helps us out a lot in terms of just having a little extra space should we need it. But also my other nitpick or thing was each leg of that nonstop or the one-stop flight, because we're going to do a stopover for sure. We have to have at least an hour plus as a stopover. So we actually get off the plane, can go take care of Colin if we need to change him, that kind of thing. But then also the bookends of that is the first leg and the second leg need to be no more than 4 hours, which was a challenge because a lot of times they want to do these stopovers. Like we had one flight that they were recommending to us. It was like, leave Orlando, fly to Washington, D.C., and then from Washington, D.C., fly direct to Sacramento. And I'm like, that is stupid.
How long of a flight is that? DC to Sacramento?
It is like 5-hour flight, 5.5-hour flight, something like that. And that's just a long time for Colin in a plane.
Okay.
Also with a small bathroom. I'm just going to throw that there. But yeah, so anyway, so we booked that up. We're going to do 3 days at Universal, and likely we'll throw in a day at Disney. We'll probably go to, I think, Animal Kingdom. We do like that park out of all of them. I'm going to pine a little bit for Star Wars, but I need to double check and make sure that they actually have something new, worthwhile Star Wars at Orlando. Because I've done Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Resistance?
Rise of Resistance. Sorry, yes. That was the most recent one I've done, and I don't know if they have anything newer. So then we'll go back to Animal Kingdom for sure.
Yeah, they last we were just there a few months ago. We were there over the summer, and I think they just have the 3 rides back there. Might even only be 2 rides. So
okay,
yeah, if there's nothing new,
that's
we love Animal Kingdom too. Yeah. Animal Kingdom's great.
I love Pandora.
Yeah. Does Colin like getting on the rides? Like, have you been on Flight of Passage? Is that something he's into?
Yeah, so we can do certain rides. So I have made the mistake of taking Colin on to certain rides that are not necessarily the best call. I took him on the was it the Mickey Speed Coaster at Disneyland in Los Angeles, which it was fine up until we got into the big loop. And Colin, he has good core strength, but he doesn't have the most strong neck. And so he was just down like this through the loop. And I'm trying to hold his head back with my arm, which you're limited by the shoulder harnesses. So I was like, sorry, kid, that's my bad.
Yeah. It's hope you have a great trip.
Yeah. But I took him on the Harry Potter, the motorcycle ride.
Yeah. Hagrid's ride or whatever.
We had fun with that. So
Yeah.
he loves the motion.
We
just got to be careful with certain things.
we did where were we there? We were at I think it was an after hours event at Hollywood Studios, and took the kids on the Aerosmith roller coaster, which is which is soon to be the Muppets roller coaster, because it's no longer going to be the Aerosmith roller coaster. But it's one, it goes upside down a couple of times, and they had never been on one that goes upside down. And so they're like, we don't want to go on this. This is terrible. And I was like, listen, this is like the one ride in the park that I want to go on. So please, let's go ride this ride. And they're like, if we ride this one time, can we just never ride it again? I'm like, yeah, that's a deal. I'll make that deal with you. And so we go through the line and we ride it, and we hit the first big loop, and my oldest is sitting next to me, because you're in the dark. So you can't really tell that you just went upside down unless you know, because of the G forces. And he's like, Dad, did we just go upside down? I was like, yeah, we did, bud. He's like, man, that was stinking cool. And so then they wanted to ride it over and over and over again. So yeah, lucky break for me. It could have gone the other way.
Now, did you, not to like get all roller coastery, but so there's two other roller coasters that I have ridden on at Orlando that I wouldn't take my son on. But there's the Hulk Smash coaster.
I haven't been on that one, but I know of it.
And then the Velociraptor roller coaster.
Yeah.
That is one to go on. That thing cooks. It is fast.
So I'm hoping to get a trip to Universal with the families maybe this summer, and maybe check out, because the new Epic Universe is open, and I haven't been to that yet, and the Velocicoaster and all that. So yeah, I'm kind of. I was following this one of the guys I follow who goes to the parks all the time. He went to Universal like the day before the tropical storm. One of the tropical storms was rolling through, and he was like, "This is the best day to come to Universal. Nobody's here." And so he just was going on all the rides.
So time it up to weather patterns. Look for the tropical storm. Plan your vacation 3 days beforehand. You're good.
That's right. If you live locally, I guess it's a little easier. But yeah, cool. Have fun in Florida.
Yeah, it should be a blast. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Side note, by the way, on tropical storms, I got 2 years back. I flew into Naples, in Florida for a conference, and little did I know, I had no clue. I'm horrible about checking weather before I ever go anywhere. Full on tropical storm. The Ritz-Carlton where this conference was being held at, they're having water coming through the ceiling. It's just like everything shut down in the surrounding areas. You're not able to enjoy anything. And I was weather delayed. Probably the worst I've ever been weather delayed. I almost did not make it home in a 24-hour period of time. Thankfully did. But yeah, that was a lesson learned of pay attention to weather. Not that it would have mattered much. I still was going to be planning to go to the conference, but yeah. Anywho, okay. Where are we at? We've talked a lot about stuff.
It was an epic story time.
It was epic, indeed. We're not going to worry about the things we get for free that we pay for, because we've kind of covered all of that, and we're not into the new month yet, so we're going to skip through that.
Right.
No community questions for the week, as far as we know. Probably would have helped if I didn't check. Did anybody check?
I checked earlier.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Nothing there.
My
Still
community
nothing.
question is, how lucky are the Chiefs that they get to face Marcus Mariota tomorrow night versus Jaden Daniels? Just saying. Okay. We're going to talk video games.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
I should have just let you sing that. I could have just done that. All right. Where do we want to start? It's. I feel like, Mr. Matthew, we're going to put you in reserve. You're going to be the anchor to game time. I'll start. I got in a little Battlefield 6 campaign. And it's still not great. but I'm trying to force my way through it. I want to get through it. I want to complete it. And I think my biggest disappointment, the stories are over the top, and I get that. It is the fact that they use these character models that just have, and you're seeing some of them here on the screen. Those guys, your team, they just have dead eyes all the time, and so you're just walking around with people looking like this the entire time, and it's like, okay, blink, do please blink. But the can't visually, this game is gorgeous, and the campaign, right there, it's visually, it is pleasing. The explosions are fantastic. The destructibility is also pretty awesome because it is on display within the campaign as well. You get into these firefights. There's one point you're going through an apartment complex and, firing through walls, and you're literally, as you start to fire, into the wall, the more and more you do, you start to, the wall starts to crumble away like it would. Drywall is not bulletproof. So,
Right.
I enjoy all of that. I love that component to the game. The other thing I think, and maybe this is where my bigger issue is, in Call of Duty, I tend to feel like, yes, I have a team with me, but the team is always behind me, if you will. It's always upon me to do the majority of the killing of the enemies coming at me. Like my team members, as we get into a firefight, they're kind of like the stormtroopers in Star Wars. They don't have the best aim. They do a little bit of damage here and there, but for the most part, it's on you, the player, leading the team to kind of get through the missions in the campaign. In Battlefield 6, I feel like I absolutely am just a passenger in the back seat. And my team, you get up to the checkpoint, they're going through the door first. They're like trying to push me out of the way. And oftentimes you just feel like really you don't need to do anything. And it will just play out and you'll get through it because your team will do whatever needs to be done until you get to the next quote unquote checkpoint, in which case you'll have to go open the door and then your teammate pushes past you and goes through the door. So that would be my other, and maybe that's where I have some issues with the campaign. It's just because I don't feel like, more often than not, it feels like I'm just kind of watching things happen when I feel like I should be part of the, really more part of the gameplay than it's giving me. And even here, you see on screen, this is, early moments in the game, you're on a turret and it's all fine, but there's no sense of danger in this. I mean, I suppose you could die in these moments, but it just kind of felt like you're just shooting the turret to shoot the turret, but your car is going to get to where it needs to go. And I say car, I know it's not a car, it's a Humvee, but you'll get to where you need to go and it'll all happen. And, even though you're taking enemy fire for the most part, it doesn't matter. So, but the explosions and stuff are great. You see it on screen. It looks fantastic. So, and I guess maybe that's the point of this. You're on this, it's like you're at Disneyland. You're on the roller coaster. You're just cruising along and you're shooting things to make the big explosions happen and be part of the thrill ride. So, okay. And that was kind of it for me for gameplay. Like I said, it was a busy work week, so I didn't really get a ton of time on multiplayer either. I played a little. Kim, did you get any more time on Battlefield 6?
I have not yet. Not this week. That's another one. Hopefully this week I'll be able to hop in on some, Shooty Tuesday or, Mayhem Thursday or whatever the hell it is we're calling all these things now. So hopefully we'll see.
All right. Okay. Now I know, Kim, you did play some Helldivers 2.
I did Friday night. Me and Boomer hopped on and what was it, Hellmire and something else. But by the time I got on there, we already had it defended. But we went ahead and jumped on Hellmire and squashed some bugs, and yeah, it's Helldivers. It's a good time. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So question, Helldivers. And this will apply to Mr. Matthew as well. Certainly can apply to Lewis in the chat. So when we load into the hell pods, do you have
Mhm.
a favorite hell pod you go to?
Yep.
Kim?
Just like the favorite burner on the stove.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite hell pod or favorite burner for that fact?
Well, usually it's the front burner on the right. I don't know why, but because it's closest to the counter and I can leave stuff, on the counter as I put it on the stove. Hell pod. You mean like I don't know if I have a favorite hell pod. I guess usually it's the first one on the left side generally.
Yeah.
So unless somebody beats me to it, and then I'm over with the reject side on the other side.
It does feel like to me the right side is like the lesser side. I don't know why I always go to the
Right.
left side. I try to go to that first on the left as well. If I can't do that, I'm a little miffed, and then I go to the second one. I don't think I've ever launched out of the right side. So, Mr. Matthew, where you're probably going to tell me the right side's your favorite side.
I always go to the one on the far right, unless I'm on if I'm on somebody else's ship, then I will let them pick before I pick, and then I'll just take whatever.
Well, now that's an
Right.
interesting thing I hadn't even thought about. Being on somebody else's ship allows, give the courtesy of picking the hell pod
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, that might be their. You don't want to mess with their zen.
I have no hell pod etiquette apparently. I just always just go right to the first one on the left. Doesn't matter.
You just have no You just have no etiquette. That's all you had to say there.
Yeah.
Even.
I suppose I deserve
Uncouth.
Okay. Yes. I'm just reading a little bit. Sorry, a little bit of the chat. I see FemShep in there. Okay. Anything else, Kim?
No, that's it. I haven't even got to play much Baldur's Gate. Well, any Baldur's Gate this week. So I'm gonna have to try to get, last week. So I'm gonna have to try to get on that this week too. So
Okay.
I am bound and determined. I've got one at least in Act 3, and I've almost got that completed. So I'm going to finish it because I read an astounding fact the other day that you'd be surprised about how many people have not finished Baldur's Gate, and I'm going to be one of the ones that actually finish it. So I don't know if I'll finish all 6 playthroughs I've got running, but I'm gonna at least try to finish at least one. So.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ever going to actually finish it.
It does feel kind of like an endless story.
Well, especially Act 3. Oh my god.
Story.
It's a lot. But
I may have to retitle this Chris Sings
for
the episode.
There you go.
All right. Mr. Matthew. Now I know you played some No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
No Man's Sky Expedition 20. Is this just your 20th expedition? Is this specifically something?
No. So the expeditions are like the seasons, right?
Okay.
So every time they push an update, they run an expedition to show you the new features. So the expedition kind of requires you to play around with any of the new features that they've added in order to finish it. So this one came kind of right on the heels of the Voyager's expedition, where they just added some new parts for the Corvettes. But I do like the expeditions. It adds a little more challenge to the game because you essentially start a new game save, and you go do the expedition, and then you can take some loot that you found back to your original game save. So it does add a little bit of challenge. It also forces you to kind of try some things out in the game that maybe you haven't tried before, because it is a massive game in terms of just all the systems that there are, and they're all completely optional, right? Like there's a whole bunch of different systems, and they're all completely optional. You don't actually have to engage with any of them. So yeah, finished up Expedition 20 today. That was kind of fun. Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about the most important game on your list.
The single most important game of the year is Escape from Duckov. I saw this on my Steam discovery queue, and I was like, you know what? This actually seems like it might be hilarious, and it's only $15, so I'm going to give it a try. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Now, I've never played Escape from Tarkov, but from watching Vive la Dirt League, I have a bit of an understanding of what Tarkov is like. And it's just that with ducks. You start by customizing your duck,
So I have
and
that
then
up on
you
screen.
escape from. Yep.
So, but I am gonna. So I have questions now because Escape from Tarkov, if I remember correctly, isn't that like a first-person shooter?
It is, I believe, is either first person or over the shoulder. So this one is isometric.
Okay.
So that is
okay.
it is different.
All right.
No, you're not losing your mind. So it is different in that aspect, but in terms of like, there's even like a duck with aviator shades that's like your black market merchant that you run into, right? And there's somebody that guides you to break out of prison and then get you to the overworld. Now, I don't know if Tarkov has this sort of base or not. So you start by you break out of prison, and then once you're done with the prison breakout, you're in this sort of underground bunker. And then you can, with the stuff that you gather from the overworld, you can improve your underground bunker by adding, a workbench or whatever. I've only spent about an hour with it, so I haven't discovered all the features. One thing that I do wish that it had, and maybe it's there and I just haven't found it yet, but it doesn't seem to have controller support. It seems to be mouse and keyboard only. Yeah, it does not currently support controller input. And so with that isometric point of view, it is a little bit strange trying to play that with a mouse and keyboard, because the screen is always on a weird angle. So you're never going straight to the left, straight to the right, straight up, straight down. It's always a combination of the two. And the mouse determines where you're looking. So you move around with the WASD, and the mouse determines where you're looking. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But I just think it's hilarious, being this not even anthropomorphic duck, just a duck that can wield guns and machetes, fighting other ducks that can wield guns and machetes. It just seemed hilarious to me. So I'll spend a little bit more time with it and get to know what's the bit you're showing right here is just kind of the opening tutorial. You kind of walk into a couple of canned encounters, learn how to battle enemies, learn how to loot. And there you go.
Okay.
Escape from Duckov.
Game of the year contender.
Yeah, definitely game of the week. Game of the week for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see after that. We'll see after that.
That is fun.
There you go.
It looks fun. I suppose, obviously it came to PC first. My guess is they'll add in controller support for it, and it'll come out to console at some point, because it seems like a game that could easily be on console.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem like that. Yes. And they did sell 1 million copies on Steam. So
okay.
So hopefully hopefully that means they'll bring it to consoles and add some controller support. It'd be really cool if they added some multiplayer support, some co-op, whatever. Right now it's single player only. Yeah. There you go.
Mr. Matthew?
All right,
Mr.
now
Delise.
everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
Too bad. Tough. Yes, there is a quiz this week.
There is a quiz.
That's the wrong button. So here we go. Lewis, play along in the chat. See how you do against the hosts. I don't know if anybody else is in the chat.
You're being judged and you're being graded, Lewis.
That's right. Being weighed and measured. And so I do have a mystery theme for you this week. We'll see how everyone does coming out with the mystery theme. Our first game is Prototype from 2009, and we're looking at the PC release. Prototype. Are you familiar with this game?
Mm-hmm.
I am indeed.
All right, great. Let's see. Before we launch into it, let me just double check my work here. Ooh. Scroll down too far.
Right-row.
Got to vamp for time. All right. Kim went first last week, which means Greg gets to go first this week. So now that I've given you some extra time to think of it, Prototype from 2009 on the PC. Greg, It is your first guess.
My first guess. So Prototype was a game I originally was very excited for, and then played it and became less excited for it. And I think it was partly because it wasn't terribly optimized well on console, but also it just wasn't a game for whatever reason. I just couldn't get into the story. In hindsight, as I think back on the story, I'm like, I probably would have actually liked it if I just stuck with it. But you kind of play a little bit of an anti-hero in that game. This is also Prototype came out, I think, right about the same time Infamous came out from Sony. Similar games. So back on topic, Prototype. I think it. I'm trying to remember how it was received. And there's part of me that's like, I think I might have actually been perceived somewhat positively. And then there's a part of me that's like, it might have been a little bit negative. But then we're talking about PC, and I don't have any purview into PC. So I am doing all of this in a roundabout way to come to a conclusion of 78 as a score.
78 as a score. All right. That gave Kim plenty of time to think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was trying to do the diversionary thing of talking a lot.
Yeah. 2 laps around the barn when we finally come in.
Right. Dear Lord.
Well, we gave Kim plenty of time to think about it. So Kim, what do you think?
Right. That's kind of the same mind as Greg, because I don't know that it did that well, but then I didn't play it. I've always seen this game. I don't know. Usually at GameStop, it was on a shelf and there was like 10 copies of it. I'm gonna go 80. I'll be a little bit nicer. So
Kim is gonna go 80. All right. Well, tie game. The actual answer was 79. Lewis is abstaining, so we're gonna move along.
All right.
Okay. Our second game for the week is Destroy. I can type really well. Destroy All Humans, the 2020 remake.
Ooh.
And we're going with the PS4 version. Destroy All Humans, the 2020 remake. And we're going with the PS4 version. And so this time it's Kim's turn to go first.
okay, I remember. Didn't you play this, Greg?
I did.
I thought you did. I know people usually think this is pretty highly. Well, maybe not highly. Like it's probably not in the 90s, but I'm gonna say 85.
Kim's going to say 85, wasting no time. 85.
Yeah.
Well,
Greg?
unlike some people.
Now look, I waste a lot of time because I
know.
thoroughly through the games that I'm talking about, Kim.
Oh.
So Destroy All
Sure,
Humans.
all right.
Interesting fun fact. I've actually played all the iterations of this game back when it first came out. And it was a game I loved the idea of it, but it failed for me because it controlled poorly, it performed poorly. However, the remake was not just we're putting this onto the consoles, but they actually did a really substantial job of giving it polish. I know it didn't do terribly great, in terms of sales, but I think it was fairly well received as well. I think 85 is a pretty solid guess, Kim. So the question is, which way do I Price is Right you? Do I go above or below?
Right.
And so I am going to say 86.
Greg's going to say 86. You should have Price is Right at the other direction. The actual answer was 70. 70.
Holy shit. I didn't think it was that bad.
Close game. Close game.
1 point difference.
Lewis still abstaining. Not racking up a great score here, Lewis. Way behind.
Well behind.
So Evil Genius 2 World Domination, which was released in 2021. And we're looking at the Xbox S and X version. I think I spelled everything wrong. And we're back to Greg is up first. Evil Genius 2 World Domination 2021 on the Xbox Series S and X.
So I know this game. I don't know it well. I'm also in my head now trying to figure out theme. So there's that component to this as well. Evil Genius 2, I'm going to say 76.
Evil Genius 2, Greg is going to say 76. Kim, what do you think?
Well, being the evil genius that I am, I'm going to say 75.
Being the evil genius that you are, you're going to say 75.
Hope for
It'll
70.
probably
you
be higher than that.
You should have gone the other way, Kim. The actual answer was 79. So
Wow.
back to a tie game.
We are
back to a tie
absolutely
game.
neck and neck tied.
All right. Rounding out this week's game Metacritic Madness quiz is Carry On from 2020 on the Switch. Carrion, whatever. Carrion. In other words, dead flesh. So there you go.
All right.
And let's see. We went Greg, Kim. So Kim, you're up first.
I actually like this game. Do I have it on? I think I bought it on the Switch. This is the one where you're the monster and you get to go through. I don't know if it's a ship or a prison or what it is, but anyway, you get to go through and kill all the kill the scientists. And I don't know. It made me cackle. What's that says about me? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 75.
Kim's gonna give it a 75. All right. Greg.
One, I think, as I knock my microphone, I think I might have just discovered what the theme is. I'm not 100% positive, but I think I might have. So Kim said 75.
Mm-hmm.
Kim said 75.
All right. And shout out to Lord, who just jumped into the chat.
Indeed.
We are currently, this is for all the marbles. This is, Carry On. 75. I need to Price is Right, Kim, one direction or the other for the win. I could play it safe. I could do the dick move and just say 75, but I'm not going to do that, Kim. I'm going to go for the win. This is okay. Do I go for the tie? Do I go for the win? I'm going for the win. So I'm going to say 76.
Greg's going to say 76. And for the win, the answer was 76. Now,
nice.
Now, for -2,
Shit.
what do you think the theme is, Kim?
I don't. Evil. They're all evil. They're all bad guys. I don't know. They're not bad guys, but they're anti-heroes. They're all anti-heroes.
Greg, what's your guess at the theme?
So the one game I don't know is Evil Genius 2. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this game has it in it or not. But I'm going to say you could transform yourself into NPC-looking characters for all these games.
You thought really hard about that, but it was you get to play as the bad guy.
Oh.
And so with the overtime field goal, Kim gets the 1-point win this week. All 4 of these games you get to play as the villain. So there we go.
Now, I would like to point out that, in terms of Destroy All Humans, from their vantage, they're not the evil ones. It's the evil humans, and they're merely just
it's the same
trying
to be said for Carrion.
Oh, okay. I know that.
Pish posh.
Great. That was a great quiz. Well done.
Well done. That was a close match. 20-21 with the overtime win from Kim. Tune in next week and see what kind of other things we can come up with.
I'm telling you,
there you have it.
It's a highlight of the show now. I think this might be favorite segment of the show for many, including myself. Just saying.
Except for Lewis, who just chose not to play.
Well, he's distracted by Buc-ee's, apparently. He's got a thing
dreaming
for
of those beaver nuggets.
The beaver nuggets. Okay.
That's one of the snacks that you can get at Buc-ee's.
I can only assume.
Here is the fucking news.
Beaver nuggets. That's gonna stick with me. That might just become beaver nuggets.
You gotta you gotta go to Daytona while you're in Florida, and you can get some for yourself.
I think so. My wife is gonna give me the oddest look when I say I want beaver nuggets, and she's gonna say, "Do I need to slap you right now?" And I'm like, "Nope, it's a thing."
Yeah, could work out for you.
It could
work out for you.
It could. All right. There's no transitioning from that to anything, but we're gonna try. We're gonna talk some news. So if you had asked anybody just a mere 18 months ago, will Halo ever come to a competing platform outside of PC and the Xbox? And the answer would have been a resounding, I don't think so. But times have changed. They have indeed. So the Halo series, they had a big announcement at the Halo campaign event. The Halo event, the World Championship event. And they revealed a full remake of Halo Campaign Evolved. So it's a full remake of the campaign portion of the series' first game. No specific release date was announced, but Microsoft confirmed the game will launch next year. The game will feature 4-player co-op and is completely rebuilt visuals on Unreal Engine 5. It looks fantastic. I've seen a trailer from it. In fact, I probably could, if I was really doing my job, I would be putting this up on screen somewhere, but that's me doing my job and not doing my job. But yeah, so the big thing is it is coming to the PlayStation 5. So, it's got people excited. Master Chief coming to a PlayStation platform. Any thoughts on this? Are you excited? It's campaign only, so there's no multiplayer, but it is co-op, 4-player. Either of you excited to revisit Halo with the original game?
I would say I'm cautiously optimistic. Too often when we get these remasters, they just kind of slightly up-res the old skins, and it kind of still looks outdated, even on the day of release. So if now it does say Unreal Engine 5, so maybe we're gonna get completely new visuals, but I don't know. Like I'm not. It would be fun to go play through the Halo campaign again with some friends, but
I will just say this right now: you're going to be pleased on the visual front. I'm looking. I have the trailer playing right now. This is the remake trailer that they showed. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, this trailer looks fantastic. Now, what the actual game looks like, who knows?
No, there's gameplay being shown. I think it's gonna meet that bar. So I'm excited for it in that respect. Sad that they're not bringing multiplayer, but maybe this is, again, we always wonder if there's a master plan at play with any of this. I don't think anybody quite understands what Microsoft's doing with their first party studios. They don't believe in exclusives anymore. So it's really a matter of, do they give some priority to things like Game Pass, or is it just, from here forward, it's just going to be, hey, wherever we can get these on different platforms, we're going to. But yeah, I'm excited for the remake. Hey, I know it's going to come to Game Pass, so there's that too.
Right.
Okay. So we've got that. What other news came about? Fallout 4. Fallout 4 made the news. Who would have thunk? They're getting an anniversary edition. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. So anniversary edition bundles the 10-year-old RPG with its 6 official add-ons, in addition to over 150 pieces of Creation Club game mods. That's an interesting kind of inclusion. So because I know the Nintendo Switch 2 does not allow for mods. So you can't mod games in a traditional sense like PC.
Right.
So
but the Creation Club is more like DLC. It's like official mods, if you will. Yeah.
Right.
So there's like when you go to the Fallout 4 launcher, you can go through mods, you can go through the user created mods. Creation Club is user created, but it's like it's been vetted by Bethesda,
right,
and it's ready to go. So it's more akin to DLC. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I have to imagine the way they're doing this is how they get mods onto the Switch 2 version. Because I'm pretty sure Nintendo is not allowing their platform to be open to mods. So they just include them in the disc, so to speak. It says the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition also introduces a new in-game creations menu, according to Bethesda, which it says will make it easier to discover and download content from professional developers and fan creators. Maybe they are opening it up. Maybe I spoke out of turn there. So it will be available digitally on the Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4 on November 10th. And the Nintendo Switch 2 will be sometime in 2026. So not the same day and date release, but it is coming. PUBG.
Can you?
Go ahead.
What's that release date again?
November 10th.
Of next year?
Of this year, as far as I understand it.
See, that's wild. It wasn't 18 months ago that we got the Fallout 4 next gen update, right? So that's just that's interesting to me that they're turning this around that quickly. All right, well, I enjoyed Fallout 4. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I love the thought of getting back into Fallout 4. I tried, and I found myself kind of similar to Oblivion, the Oblivion remake. I enjoyed it for a little bit, and then I just fell right back off of it. But who knows? Maybe I'll dip back in. So PUBG and Subnautica publisher Krafton says it's transforming into an AI-first company. So this was an interesting little tidbit. I thought we'd kind of throw it around the room, so to speak. In an announcement made to local press on Thursday, Krafton CEO Kim Chang-han said the company would reorganize its development operations to place AI at the center of problem solving. To make this happen, Krafton will invest approximately $69.5 million US dollars. They threw out some $100 billion number, which I have no idea what currency that was. Might have
Korean won.
Sorry?
South Korean won, KRW.
South Korean won, okay. Which means nothing to me, but the US dollar amount meant something. So, but anyway, so they're going to build a GPU cluster to support multi-stage tasks requiring sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning, and serve as the foundation for accelerating the implementation of agentic AI. Krafton will invest another, some stupid name, $30 billion South Korean kwon, 30 billion, which it really is only about 20.8 million US dollars annually starting in 2026 to actively support its employees in directly utilizing and applying various AI tools to their work. The company will also restructure its HR system and organizational operation around AI. That's code word for they're going to lay off a bunch of people because the AI is going to be able to do a lot more than what their current development team does. I jest in that last part, but it might be true.
I mean, I think a lot of companies are leaning that way, but so when I was making today's quiz, right? I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, this is the theme I'm thinking of for the quiz. Can you suggest some games? And then I pick the 4 games I want. I'm like, okay, search Metacritic and give me the Metacritic scores. Every score that it gave me was wrong. I always go to Metacritic to verify the work.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on now, this isn't that hard. So I don't know that AI is ready to solve real problems yet. at least not without
Right.
several humans on the loop.
No,
Right.
I don't disagree. I don't know, Kim. Do you have thoughts around AI?
Well, I'm kind of the same as Chris there. I definitely don't think it's ready to take over the world yet, despite what others think. So, because there's definitely issues to work out there. So, I mean, we've all seen the AI images where the person's got 7 fingers on one hand all of a sudden, and you're like, wait a minute, it's not right. So,
I think the biggest problem we face right now with AI is that the CEOs of the world, they love the idea of AI. And of course, they're the ones that push the narrative and push it downstream, so to speak. And I think a lot of us, certainly within this little room here, we realize AI has its problems. It is not fully fleshed out. It is not something that we can just suddenly utilize to replace the human interaction. But unfortunately, I think we do see these companies that are making these big bets on AI. They see the potential, and they also see the potential in terms of how it impacts the bottom line. And so that's something I think we're going to fight with often. But yeah, AI, it's not going anywhere. My fear is we just are going to continually push it when we still need human interaction, but the bean counters, if you will say no. Excuse me. This is why you don't drink coffee, by the way, during a podcast. You should drink something other than coffee. Dries your throat out immensely. Oh my God, yeah.
That's what I'm drinking.
No, well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, see, but you don't have the gift of gab like me, Kim.
Okay, true.
So you're mixing up your causation and correlation there. Your throat is dry because you're running your gab.
Yeah.
Right.
But the coffee's doing nothing to help that. Okay. Game Developers Conference has said that leading industry companies who choose to skip the event are sending a message to developers that they don't care. And boy, do I wish I had water right now.
Bless you.
Oh no, I'm just going to suffer through this, and you're going to just keep drinking right in front of me. I appreciate that. Thank you. You're both assholes. All right. Last year's GDC was held annually in San Francisco. Saw engine makers like Unity and Epic cut back their presence, and Sony skipped the event altogether. So speaking to the game business, GDC's Executive Director in Innovation and Growth, Mark DeLura, said the company's absence was noticeable and claimed they risked alienating developers. Of course, that they counter probably by saying, "Oh, but we've got AI tools for that." As an attendee, I was disappointed to not see Unity and Unreal on the show floor. I said, I worked for Sony and I started the Sony booth 25 years ago. Not to see Sony on the show floor is just disappointing. I really feel like you've got so many developers there. You've got to have a front door. GDC itself is undergoing a revamp in 2026, calling itself a festival of gaming and offering cheaper tickets. That will be interesting how that goes down. Delora said basically the GDC board had discussed the possibility of moving the event away from San Francisco, which is often criticized as an overly expensive, but ultimately decided to remain in the city. Everybody brings it up. Delora said it's absolutely something we've talked about for doing the event. The U.S., it is the center of the games industry. Wouldn't you want to be there? And don't more game developers have the opportunity to come because we're there? Yes, and San Francisco is expensive. It's a pricey place to be. People are concerned about the city's safety, which has definitely improved in recent years, end quote. I don't know that any of that latter part is the truth other than San Francisco is still expensive. I don't find San Francisco to be a terribly safe feeling city these days. I know they have made efforts to quote unquote clean up the city, but in particularly around the area where the conference is held, the Moscone Center in that region, it's not a great area. It is just not. So we'll be interesting to see how GDC continues to evolve or devolve. This whole festival of gaming thing and offering cheaper tickets, my fear for GDC is it is going to start to dilute itself a little bit with just people coming. They're buying tickets because they're gaming fans and they're not really developers. So that was a problem GDC faced way back when. And then they said, this is not a fan event. And they kind of tightened the restrictions in terms of how you got in. And I think they made the tickets actually more expensive. And it kind of became back, more of a developer event. I think they run the risk of, especially calling it a festival of gaming. It's just going to be something that you're going to see a lot of people that just love gaming try and attend, because you do get, some inside baseball looks when you go to that event. I did myself go to a GDC event under the guise of my old work company. I had no business being there. I realized very quickly, I thought, I might get some leads for the work I was doing at the time. No, not at all. But I just walked around and went to different booths and kind of got a sneak peek at games that were in development. It was, admittedly cool. So I just don't know that this is a good direction for them to go. Okay. Speaking of not necessarily good directions to go, we'll see how this next story pans out. But NBC Universal signs a deal with Law and Order creator Dick Wolf, his son, Dick Wolf's son, to make AI-generated games based on its IP. So this is the future. Literally, we're talking about. Wolf Games was founded by Elliot Wolf, the son of TV producer Dick Wolf, best known for the Law and Order series. Dick Wolf has backed the company alongside other entertainment executives, Jimmy Levine and Paul Watcher. The company claims it is not focusing on reinventing traditional television and film, but is instead engineered to be a true creative partner, enhancing the creation process for narrative games with a deep understanding of story logic, character integrity, and world building. The unique capability to protect and honor storytelling at scale, along with the focus on using ethical generative AI, was a key driver for the partnership that will allow fans to play within their favorite IP universes like never before. Any thoughts on this?
It sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. I don't even know. I'm sure I should, but what games does NBC Universal own?
So,
I think they're making games based on their IP.
Yes. So you're going to get basically a Law and Order game, AI generated.
Nope.
I mean, it could be good, but I do share your concern.
I don't think a Law and Order game would even be good. I played a CSI game once, and it was not good. The only reason I played it is because I loved CSI as a show.
I think Mike Chin loved those games. I tried one, and I'm like, I don't get it either. It was not fun for me. I think the other problem is a lot of times those investigation type games just they boil down to find the clue on the screen.
Now they do have NBC Universal does also own some of the original scary monsters, right? So that could be good. They do own Illuminate. They do own DreamWorks and Illumination and Universal Pictures. So, I mean, we always say movie tie-in games are usually bad, and movie tie-in games made by AI are probably worse. So,
yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, so there was a game that came out, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it's escaping right now. But it was a detective game. It was L.A. Noire, I think. Was the name of it. And
that was by Rockstar.
Yeah,
that was a very good game.
Yeah, and the whole premise behind it was you were this detective. You went around very GTA-like in the city of Los Angeles, investigating and interrogating potential criminals, and there was thought to the investigation process. It wasn't, roll your cursor over the screen until it highlights something, and instead it was you find clues, then you arrest the person, then you're interrogating them, you're trying to get them to admit to being the criminal, or find clues from that investigation to then go find the actual bad guy. So that was brilliant in that respect. I do think it failed a little bit in some of the investigation area. It wasn't perfect. I could see potential for this in that realm of creating a Law and Order game where you're investigating, you're having an actual back and forth chat with, with a potential suspect, and having to ask the right questions to get the clues to come up. How they handle that will be probably the most important aspect of that, because I imagine that's the direction this is going to go. And I will say this, in my work, we use AI-led tools that are part of surveying. So you ask somebody a question, and the AI will listen to the response and then prompt them for follow-up responses. So, you say, do you like red or blue? And you say, oh, I like blue. And the AI would then follow up with the question of, interesting, you like blue. Can you explain why you like blue? And then you might give an explanation of, I like blue because I like the sky. And the AI would then come up with a follow-up question. And it might be something to the extent of, that's interesting that you like the sky. What is it about the sky that you like? So there is the possibility for AI to be truly unique and innovative in that respect, especially in the gaming world. I've always kind of wanted that kind of interaction when it came to RPGs, as opposed to the canned responses. You get 4 responses on screen, and you have to choose one, and it could be the correct one, or to lead you to the right answer or not. If we could get to the point of having our games actually have that kind of more free-flowing back and forth dialogue where I just talk into my microphone, that could be interesting. We'll see. All right, last bit of news. Microsoft, okay, we've all been kind of seeing these price hikes, and we've been wondering, what the heck's going on? Why is suddenly everything costing $1 gazillion more? I mean, we certainly could blame the tariffs, but it doesn't feel quite like in step with what happened with tariffs. Well, I think that veil has been lifted now. Now we have a better understanding with this next story, which is Microsoft pushes the Xbox division to hit higher profit margins. So this is according to Bloomberg. Microsoft is asking the Xbox game division to produce profit margins that are well above the industry average, ratcheting up its pressure on its video game makers during, according to Bloomberg, a difficult time for the field at large. Over the past 2 years, executives at the Seattle-based software giant have set across the board a goal of 30% accountability margins, a term Microsoft uses in lieu of profit margins, according to people familiar with the business. The gaming division, which includes dozens of studios, has responded by canceling products, raising prices, and slashing thousands of jobs, said the people who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information. The average profit margin in the video game industry in recent years has ranged between 17% and 22%, according to estimates at the S&P Global Market Intelligence. And Microsoft, while coming in between 10% and 20% over the past 6 years for the Xbox division. Court documents from 2023 revealed that Microsoft's gaming business had a 12% profit margin for the 9 months of the company's 2022 fiscal year during that lawsuit time. So there's a couple takeaways from this. So I don't know any industry, and I say this genuinely, that operates under that doesn't strive for at least a 30% profit margin. This is kind of baffling to me, seeing that the industry itself has been in and around a 17 to 22% profit margin. Most businesses are not doing well if they're sitting in those lanes. So that was a little shocking to me. to see that it was dipping below 20% as an industry is, I mean, again, that's kind of shocking. So on one hand, I see that and I'm like, God, okay, I get it. Let's get ourselves back up to what a normal profit margin would be for most normal businesses. That also said, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company, and sometimes it feels a bit on the greedy side. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this because obviously this push is what is raising prices. This push is what has, they're not going to sell consoles at a loss ever again. So that is out the door. That's why they're making all these deals with third-party hardware companies where they'll get their 30% margin off the hardware through licensing. I have no doubt in my mind the Asus ROG Ally X and all of that is at a 30% cut to Microsoft on the licensing deal. So I don't know. Is this shocking to you guys? Does it make sense? Any thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of like you. It does seem like it's awful low, and I mean, considering what we pay, for our consoles and our video games and all that sort of thing. But then again, you would think they'd be doing better than what they are. But it does say it has been a hard time for video games and stuff as of late. So.
I mean, is this a potential course correction, Chris, do you think, that for the industry itself? Do we start to see just everybody kind of course correcting on profit margin? Or is this Microsoft's going to be the outlier and everybody else is going to stay the course of keeping margins low?
I think Microsoft has bought up so many game studios that they can kind of drive the industry a little bit. I think other hardware manufacturers are going to have to find some way to peel away some market share from them, right? And so, yeah, not a real surprise here. We'll see. They keep saying the next I keep seeing headlines that say the next Xbox is going to be a flagship high power console. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see what that means and how much it costs.
Yeah,
right.
I've seen those similar headlines, and I think to myself, high performing, high price.
Right.
Well, yeah.
It'll
be interesting if we get into the $1,000. I mean, we're already at $750 for the top of the line Xbox. Once we start to get into $1,000, I wonder if that won't drive people towards PC gaming.
I mean, I think the interesting thing to, again, this is all speculation, but the next Xbox, the next PlayStation even, I think they're even going to be closer to PC. And I fully expect, by the way, the next Xbox, you look at the ROG Ally X, and the was it the X and the One X? Or X, I forgot what they named the two Xbox versions, but the important aspect to it is the UI, how it interfaces with not just the Xbox ecosystem, but Steam, Epic Games. I know PlayStation's not part of that, but I think you certainly could probably stream PlayStation games off of the PlayStation Plus. So,
right.
If we can really get a console that does that, but also has the ability to play the native Xbox catalog, which the ROG Ally X does not have. It can play anywhere titles, but it can't actually play older Xbox titles because they just don't have the chipset in there. But if they can get that to happen, that suddenly is you actually have a console fitting into the PC space more than ever. And then I wonder if it becomes a question of, well, do I stick with my PC or do I, maybe get a console now? Because I think the price point still will favor the console. A $1,000 Xbox versus a $1,000 PC build that you're going to iterate on. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be equivalent or if you would still need to be maybe more of a $2,000 PC to be the equivalent.
I think it all depends on the operating system. The reason Xbox can generally get away with being less powerful than your than a comparable PC is because it's running the Xbox operating system that is optimized for that hardware. You know, if they start adding more things, whether they're running a UI over Linux or whether it's a Windows kernel, then they're going to have to put more powerful hardware in there to keep up with that. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah. And then I do see Lewis in the chat as a console.
And to help with PlayStation, Lewis. Nobody cares.
Well, no, I mean, it's certainly worth the conversation of, you know, what does PlayStation do with their next PS6? Is it, you know, are they still going to try and do the selling at a loss, or are they also past that now? Are they going to say, no, we just sell our hardware at a profit? Nintendo oddly has not sold their consoles at a loss. They sell their consoles at a at least break-even price, but they're also not the most powerful consoles, as we know. So,
right.
Anyway, interesting times ahead. All right, let's move on to some new releases. Kim, take it away.
Alrighty, your new releases for this week are Motion Wreck for the PC on October 27th, Ire, a prologue for the PC as well on the 28th, Outbreak Island for the PC on the 28th as well, The Outer Worlds 2 for the PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC on the 29th, Arc Raiders out for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 30th, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 20 Remake for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, Switch, and PC on the 30th. Stray Children, which is what I don't want. But anyway, Stray Children for the Switch and PC on October 30th. Tales of Zilla Remastered for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC on the 31st. And Tales of Old Dominus for the PC on November 3rd. Yes, folks, November is right around the corner. Those are your new releases this week.
All right.
Yeah, it's Christmas already. What in the world?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Anything on the list here? Arc Raiders is an interesting one for me. I've been seeing a lot of quasi hype for it. I also heard some people talking about the beta as it being hard as hell. And so I think it's an extraction shooter.
The Discord server is split on this one.
Okay.
There's a few people on the Discord server who are fans. There's a few people on the Discord server who are solidly not fans. It's like this isn't fun. Like it's clearly a technical achievement, but this isn't fun. I'm not going to play it. And at the end of the day, games should be fun.
Yeah, fun is an important aspect of gaming. That is no truer words have been said. Outer Worlds 2. Mr. Matthew, are you excited?
I'm looking forward to this one. I did enjoy the first game. So I'm interested to see what they do with it. It's a whole new cast of characters. It's the Outer Worlds 2, but it's not really a sequel. It takes place in a completely different solar system. So it'll be look forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, I am excited to play it. I never finished Outer Worlds 1. There is something about the, I'll call it the Fallout formula that they were using, the Bethesda formula of conversation that I do wish they would break free from, in just terms of how they present conversations. And they got a little better with like Starfield in particular. I think they do a little bit better job of kind of showcasing, and I know this isn't a Bethesda game, by the way, but they do a better job of in that model, sort of. In the modeling of the characters and not showing them just from the head, the top of the torso up all the time. But it does, even with the better visuals of conversations, it still felt very formulaic to that tried and true. And I just kind of want one of these days them to step outside of that and just be like, hey, we just took conversations and that whole system in a different direction. But so I'm cautiously optimistic for the Outer Worlds 2, but I fear I'll get bored with that system and drop off of it again. It was a very roundabout way of getting to there, but I got there. I landed the plane.
Gotcha.
Slightly
the
off
nice
the
thing
runway.
about Outer Worlds, nice thing about Outer Worlds 1 is that you didn't have to have all those conversations. There were a few conversations you had to have, but you could also play the game by just shooting everything. It was much harder to play it that way, but you could play it that way. So yeah.
Speaking of shooting things, and just making your way by shooting things at all times, Mr. Matthew, let's talk about play dates and the community involvement, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
We do like to involve the community on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It says Halo. We haven't played Halo in a while. Maybe we're due for some more Halo, but lately it's been Helldivers and a little bit of Battlefield, or maybe Battlefield and a little bit of Helldivers. Take your pick. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and with the UK rolling back, that'll now be 7:30 p.m. UK time, 12:30 p.m. for Greg, and 2:30 p.m. for Kim. And then Fridays, Double Fatal Fridays has been a little hit or miss lately, but someone start a thing. 3 p.m. in the UK, which will now be 9 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, right? Man, this is why we just need to do all the play dates in Greenwich Mean Time. From now on, all the play dates in Greenwich Mean Time. I'll fix it next week.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Otherwise, if you see us on Discord playing a game that you like to play, drop on in. We'd love to have people join the lobbies, especially with Extra Life coming up. Gonna love to have some people join the Extra Life lobbies to help the host stay awake.
And it is important to help us stay awake, so it is greatly appreciated. Speaking of staying awake, Corazon just joined the chat, realizing that he had slept in far too long and missed out on most of the show. Don't worry, Corazon, you missed out on an epic show. So much goodness happened in this. The Metacritic quiz, off the hook. The news, crazy, insanely informative. The games we played, again, insightful. You just missed so much. And of course, all of just the things that happened in life. It was an epic, epic show. So you're going to have to just listen to it again come tomorrow when the audio version comes out, Corazon. And as you're cruising around in your walker, just plug us into your Walkman and put the yellow headphones back on. There's a visual there, folks. That's a good throwback visual. But yeah, it was a fun show today. I very much enjoyed our chat. Okay. We're at that time. We're going to wrap things up. We will put out the audio version of the podcast tomorrow. In the meantime, even though you missed most of the show, Corazon, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You could turn on your notifications. That's probably why you missed it. I'm just saying. So, no, we jest. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on, we actually have a Gmail, ocpodcast@gmail.com. In fact, you can write in your hate mail to us about missing the first part of the show because the times, the hours rolled back and that you feel this is our fault. We'll take that. We'll take that criticism. You can actually blame Mark for that. Mark had to step out from the show tonight, and we were all prepared. We were going to roll it back with you guys. We were going to do right by our UK boys, and then our UK boy stepped away, and so we said, fuck the UK. And we just said, we're going to keep the same time on our side, and you all will suffer. I can neither confirm nor deny that is actually factual. But that said, support us in Extra Life. I've just insulted you, but I want you to support us anyway.
Give us your money anyway.
This is how these work. It's like a marriage, you get in an argument, you make up, and then you come back and you're all lovey-dovey. So yeah, Extra Life, it is just mere weeks away. Kim, I got my Extra Life t-shirt. Pretty snazzy. Good. It's a turquoise t-shirt. Oh. If I had been smart, again, I'm not, I would have brought it in here to show you. Instead, I was trying to brag about, my commas.
All right.
I don't know where I'm going with any of this right now. I think I'm going to just turn things over to you, Kim. Kim, what do you have to say right about now?
Alrighty, I'm gonna shout out our shatters, even though we've kind of already done that. But we had 3 today. I'm kind of surprised Boomer didn't show up, but I know he was working on a sync yesterday, so maybe he's still working on that same sync. I don't know. But we had Playing Skills, we had Lord, and Warzone showed up there at the tail end. So thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with us and whatnot. We appreciate it. Why we do this thing? I mean, other than we like apparently talking to ourselves, but we could do that anywhere. So as that being said, shout out to you guys as well. So I like that you guys have me on here to talk about random things, and you know, God knows in my life there are a lot of random things at times. So you know, speaking of random things, hopefully everybody has a good week this week. I'm hoping my week will be less busy so I can game some more, and I will pass you on over to Chris.
I'm going to interject real fast because you made a comment, and it now makes me want to throw a question out to the group. This is a never-ending podcast. So we all talk to ourselves. At some point or another, you talk to yourself.
Never-ending podcast.
Yeah. So where do you talk to yourself the most? Is it in the car? Is it in the shower? When you're alone cooking food? Where do you feel you talk to yourself the most? I will say this right now. For me, 100% the car. And largely it's I am shouting at people, similar to get off my lawn, get in your own lane. And then I start literally talking to myself about how bad they're driving and having the conversation with myself that maybe I shouldn't be so critical because I'm probably a shit driver too. But, so that's about how that conversation goes. Kim, where do you find yourself talking the most? Toilet also could be inclusive. Toilet, shower, separate. Unless you're weird and you have one solid unit. They exist.
No, I don't have one.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. No, I do a lot of my talking to myself at home because honestly, if I go out in public and start talking to myself, then they're going to bring out the big white jacket. I'll be hugging myself. And I'll probably be calling you guys to get my ass out of the loony bin because that's where they will stick me. So usually, yeah, it's at home or maybe in the shower or something, And I hate those people that go, well, you can talk to yourself as long as you don't answer yourself. And I'm like, isn't that kind of the same fucking thing? I mean, I'm guilty of both. I'm not going to lie. I will ask a question and then I'll go, oh, hey, wait, so there you go.
As long as you're not shouting at the air, I guess that's the distinction.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I shout at the air unless it's raining or something. Then that might piss me off. But yeah.
I see Lewis has said in the car, Corazon on walking home from work. That definitely, I'm imagining there's some angry conversations there. I could be wrong. Chris, what about you? Where have you found yourself talking to yourself the most?
Usually when I'm walking the dog, that seems to be the only time of day that there's not another person around. So I usually am kind of mumbling under my breath to myself as I'm walking the dog. Yeah. Although I don't usually answer myself. I don't usually answer myself.
Thought for sure you were going to say during the podcast.
Right?
Yeah, that's what this button is for. I can start talking to myself all about whatever y'all have done lately.
Right.
All right. Continue on, Mr. Matthew. Sorry, I had to just side rail us one last time.
I love side rails. Just don't touch the third rail.
Yeah.
That's the zappy rail. Yeah. I'm gonna shout out Mark. Looking forward to having you back whenever you feel up for it. I'm gonna shout out the Travelers. There's been a good small group of us who've been. You don't really play No Man's Sky together, but we've been talking it up in the Discord as we've been working our way through this latest expedition. Iron Panda, Corzan, Mustang. I don't know if Defoe's gotten in there or not, but yeah, it's been fun having someone else to chat about No Man's Sky with. And of course, the two of you. Always a pleasure to be here on the show. Take us home, Greg.
I will take us home. A shout out to the two of you, because thank you. Otherwise, I would be talking to myself without you being here. Always fun. Always look forward to our time together, hanging out. It does feel sometimes like it's a bit of a therapy session. Other times it's like a little bit of a comedy jam. And I think today qualified more comedy jam than therapy session. And that's okay.
Right.
Shout out to the community. Yeah. Shout out to the community. Absolutely love them. 100%. Go Cowboys. F the Broncos. Mr. D. Felice. Yeah. take it in the shorts this week. That's all I got to say to that. Doesn't even make sense, but I'm going to say it anyway. Shout out to Mark. We do miss you. I hope you get back next week. And I think that's it. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to just segue out of the show. Everybody have a great rest of your week. It's already been a good week because my team won on Thursday night. If you're a Vikings fan, suck it.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.